This is Susan from Stuart Design. I'm going to show you a tip and trick that I use a lot when I've got full coverage of an image and I want my type on top of that image and it doesn't pop off quite a bit from that background. So for example, if you look here in my InDesign file, I can't see my type. Now, if you've got full coverage of an image, sometimes over areas, for example, where that T is in the bottom of that Y, it kind of blends in with the background. I want it to pop off that background just a little bit. There's this super cool trick in Photoshop that you can do to enhance your type in that layout. So for example, now I'm in Photoshop. I'm just going to go ahead and create a new layer, which is Shift-Command-N. I'm just going to name that layer black. Now I'm going to make sure that my foreground color here is in black. Go up to my brushes and I'm going to choose a very soft edge brush. Now if you look here, here's the difference between a soft edge and hard edge brush. If you look this is the hard edge brush, and a soft edge is going to give you a really nice coverage. So I'm going to take that down. Now if I go into my layout, you see that my brush is fairly small now. I want to make it a little larger. So my forward bracket is going to make that brush a little larger. Well, we want it a lot larger. And on this black layer, I'm going to go ahead and draw. Now it looks pretty nasty now, but if you go into your layers palette, go down to multiply and reduce that opacity. In this case, maybe about, I don't know, yeah, that's good. About 50 or 40 to 50%. I'm just going to go in and type my percentage. All right, save that out. Go back to my InDesign file. Update my link. Do you see how now that really creates a contrast between the background, which is the image, and the actual typography? Now if you go down, let's go ahead and go to our second page. Now here's another example. Now if you've got dark type on a background and your background isn't really popping, you're just going to do the opposite. Before we use black, in this case I'm going to go back to Photoshop. And for our next example, we're just going to throw this layer away. All right, and we're going to create a new layer. Just name it white. All right, make sure my foreground layer, or my foreground color here, is in white. Go to my brush, and then just go over with my brush in that area that I know that I want the type to pop off the background. I mean, instead of going into the blend mode, I'm just going to go to opacity, pull that down about 40%. Wait a minute, let's do about 50. I think that'll be a little better. 50%. All right, I'm going to save that out. Go back to my InDesign file. All right, we're just going to go ahead and update that link. Voila, there you go. So this is a really cool way of just allowing your type to really pop off the background. It's just kind of like a tip and trick in Photoshop of really darkening your photograph in some areas and lighting your photograph in other areas for when you have full coverage of an image and your type really isn't popping off that background. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope you learned something.